So we have a remaining method for the preparation of haloalkanes. We are left out only with the 3 more methods. So we'll begin with the first method, that is addition of halogen to a alkene. Okay, so we are adding a halogen. Okay, so we are adding a halogen to an alkene. So what are alkene? As you all know that they are the unsaturated hydrocarbon with a double bond. Okay, so now here we are adding a bromine. You are already aware in your first year, this reaction is a very well known reaction. It is a characteristic reaction for the unsaturated hydrocarbon, bromination. So bromination is usually carried out in presence of CCl4 as a solvent. Bromine in CCl4, it is reddish brown in color. When this reagent is added to a alkene, the color will decolorize. We will end up with a product which is colorless in nature. So what is happening? We have to understand that. And the heading itself is telling addition. That means one bromine for one carbon, another bromine for another carbon. But here the speciality of addition of bromine is, it is not happening with a syn addition. It is an anti-addition. This you have to remember only for your competitive exam, not for your theory. So here CH2, one bromine here, single bond, CH2, one bromine here. This is called as anti-addition. Got my point? So the addition of bromine in unsaturation test, it is anti-addition. Got my point? Such that we are ending up with a vicinal dihalide. What are vicinal dihalide? You all know that if two halogen atoms are bonded to a two adjacent carbon atom, we call that as a vicinal dihalide. Okay, fine. So of course you know that only few mechanisms are required for your exams, but here only out of curiosity I'll be showing how the anti-addition takes place. This is not at all required for your theory nor for your competitive exam. You should only know that the addition of bromine for your unsaturated hydrocarbon is happening in a anti-addition, anti in a opposite form. Got my point? So consider CH2 double bond CH2. So you know that here it has a pi electron. So you know that pi electron can be easily delocalized. So let us assume that this pi bond is moving here. Of course it can move with this side also. Your wish, I'm taking the pi bond movement on the left side. So that this carbon will have a partial negative charge and this carbon will have a partial positive charge. Now I'll be writing a bromine molecule. So you know that out of two bromine atom, there are chances for the bromine atom to have a induced dipole. Got my point? What do you mean by induced dipole? When a molecule is brought closer to a polar molecule, the polar molecule will create a polarity in the neighboring molecule. So there are chances of having a induced dipole in the bromine molecule. So let us assume that this is having a partial positive charge and this is having a partial negative charge. And you know that here the carbon is negative, so it will have an attraction towards this bromine atom because it has a partial positive charge. So now what will happen here? This shared pair of electron along with a bromine will leave in the form of a bromide ion, so that you are ending up with CH2Br bond CH2 with a positive charge. So now what will happen? Bromine, it has 7 valence electron. Out of 7, 1 is involved in the bonding. There are 3 lone pair of electron. So there are chances for one of the lone pair to attack to this carbon and it will form a bromonium ion. Got my point? It will form a bromonium ion, or it is also called as cyclic halonium ion. And according to the cyclic compounds rule, that is Bayer's strain test, we tell that whenever we have a higher angle strain, the molecule will immediately open. The reaction is very, very fast. Cyclopropanes will react very high. Why? Because of the very high angle strain. Got my point? They have angle strain of 60 degree. So immediately what will happen? This cyclic halonium ion will further have an attack with a bromide ion. This bromide ion cannot attack in this direction because already I have a bromine with a positive charge. Due to steric hindrance, it has to attack in an opposite direction. That itself is called as anti-addition, and you will end up with a vicinal dihalide. Got my point? Okay. So the next is using allylic compound. Okay, fine. So using allylic compound, how to prepare a alkyl halide. So you are already aware of allylic halide. What are allylic halide? Very simple. So you will be having a sp3 hybridized carbon bonded to a carbon-carbon double bond, or two sp2 hybridized carbons will be bonded to a sp3 hybridized carbon. So this carbon is also called as alpha carbon because it is bonded to a sp2 hybridized carbon. Got my point? And now what we are doing is we are doing a very simple reaction. We are doing a halogenation specifically for alpha hydrogen. Got my point? Alpha hydrogen is nothing but, so the alpha carbon has hydrogen atom. Those hydrogens can also be called as alpha hydrogen. So we have three different methods. Of course, only one is there in your NCERT. The remaining two you should know only for your competitive exam, which is very, very important. So let us look on here. So the first reaction is you can do chlorination or bromination, but here you have to maintain a very high temperature. This condition is important. Only then you can have a substitution at a allylic hydrogen in a allylic compound. So that here I'll end up with CH2Cl. How did I get this? I'm removing one hydrogen of the alpha carbon and replacing with a chlorine. The remaining part will remain as it is because substitution it will happen only for a saturated hydrocarbons. And you know that here we have a carbon with a sp3 hybridized is this carbon, which is alpha carbon with alpha hydrogen. So the next is, second method is, I can take one of the reagent which is called as N-bromosuccinamide. Got my point? This is very, very important reagent. It is used frequently to bring about bromination for allylic hydrogen. Got my point? If I want to do a bromination specifically for a alpha hydrogen in a allylic compound, I can take a reagent called as N-bromosuccinamide, which is the best method. Got my point? So take again allylic compound CH3, okay, so then CH double bond CH2. So now what will happen? This bromine will attack, or it will substitute only the alpha hydrogen. Okay, so therefore I'll end up with, I'll be writing the molecule in a reverse order, CH2CH single bond, then here CH2 with a Br. Got my point? So bromine has got substituted with one of the alpha hydrogen of a allylic compound. Now what is left out? The hydrogen which has come out will replace the position of the bromine. Got my point? So that will be a byproduct. That is not required. And finally, we can also take sulfuryl chloride. So what is sulfuryl chloride is? It is nothing but SO2Cl2. This is also another reagent which is frequently used for allylic halogenation. So here you can end up with a chlorination. Got my point? So therefore here CH2 double bond CH CH2Cl. Okay, fine. So this is regarding the allylic compounds bringing about the halogenation reaction, converting them into a alkyl halide. The last one is halogen exchange method. This is very, very important because here you will be studying two name reaction. First one is called as Finkelstein reaction. Okay, so what I mean by Finkelstein reaction is, so here the word itself is telling halogen exchange. That means I have to take a substrate which is having already one halogen. So let us take RCl. Now Finkelstein reaction is something where we are making it to react with a NaI in presence of acetone as a solvent. So Finkelstein reaction is the best method to prepare alkyl iodide. Darzens for alkyl chloride, Finkelstein for the alkyl iodide. I have another one reaction, that is fluorination. I have already told you. So here let us look on what will happen. You will end up with Ri with NaCl as a byproduct. Okay, so this is how we carry out a reaction in Finkelstein to end up with a Ri. Okay, so then the last reaction is called as Schwarz reaction. As you all know that Schwarz reaction is meant for preparation of alkyl fluoride. So how to do this? Again, we are studying this under halogen exchange method. So therefore I have to take a already existing halogen alkyl halide. So therefore RBr let us take. make it to react with a silver fluoride. Okay, so you are taking a metallic fluorides here. So we have taken silver fluoride, or you can take Hg2F2. So this is a mercuric fluoride, this is silver fluoride. Make it to react with a already existing alkyl halide. So what will happen here? Halogen will be exchanged. So you will end up with RF and then AgBr. Similarly here I'll be having RCl with Hg2Cl2. So of course you have to take two molecules here, but since balancing is not required, I've written directly. Got my point? So these are all the various methods for the preparation of haloalkanes. In the next class, we'll be studying the preparation of haloarenes.